Hey, Gemini, Mel, Intuitive Coach here. Excited to bring in your August 2025 bonus reading. All right, we are going to look at the shift and the gift. What needs to be released or embraced in order for this gift to fully manifest in your life? So basically, what's waiting on the other side of the changes that are occurring in your world? Bottom of the deck here, we have the 10 of Ariel. This is the 10 of Pentacles. This is a beautiful energy here around gratitude. There is so very much to be grateful for. This is financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. Now, this is what you are wanting to maintain or wanting to create or build in your world. Gemini, this is about stability and financial security. I feel like this is legacy type of vibe coming in where you are a legacy. I feel like you have already created a lot of changes that will leave an impact and you're not done yet is what I just heard. I feel like you're just getting started here when it comes to your maybe financial wealth. This can even be marriage. It can be support here with family ties. I see that you're also able to maybe pay off some debt because some of you may be working towards paying off debt or paying down debt here in some way. Yeah, you have the star right behind it. So there's a wish. There is a dream that you are moving towards. Believe in yourself. I feel like there's an end of maybe a difficult situation, or perhaps some of you have been going through some restructuring or maybe redefining of what stability looks like for you. Gemini, there are big changes here. And as I'm looking down, I actually see 3 out of the 6 major arcana, which means August is going to be a monumental month where a lot of changes are occurring in your life. So let's dive right in here and get messages from your spiritual helpers. Your first helper out here, Gemini, is Krishna. Krishna brings in with her devotion. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. Your commitment has been recognized. That's part of the 10 of Pentacles. Right? The 10 of Pentacles is most people's dream in the material physical world. It is having a good support system. It is having financial security, having people around you. It reminds me of the blue zones. If you've heard of the blue zones, the places that have the longest living people because they are filled with community and they are living and creating their best lives. And I see here that that's what you are working towards. Now, some of you, you could be connecting to the energy of peacock. I'm seeing the peacock feather coming out of Krishna's crown chakra. Maybe some of you are being guided to like peacock your own energy at this time. Like put yourself out there in some way. Don't dim your light to fit in. Devote yourself to what you want right now. You have Odin showing up through psychic insight. Odin is powerful. He reminds me of the father in The Little Mermaid, right? Odin. And it says here, your third eye is open. See truth for what it is. Follow your intuition. Some of you could have either you yourself, maybe someone you know, or this could even be a pet or an animal who has a blue eye and maybe a brown eye. Maybe you have different colored eyes, but also Odin has this psychic eye showing up where your intuitive knowing is strong. The veil between worlds is thin and you are activating your soul's purpose. A lot of you are having deep visions. Your dreams are very, very vivid and potent. So pay attention to not just the dreams that you are having during your sleep state, but your daydreams, because you may be prophesizing. Some of you are tapping into your Akashic records, and I feel like you're getting glimpse into the future timeline that you have available. So your third eye is definitely activated here, and there are new truths that may be showing up for you. Trust in those new truths, because sometimes it is going to require letting go of old versions of yourself or old energies that perhaps have played out in your life with relationships or careers or old patterns. I feel like there's truth bubbling up within you, Gemini, and you are being asked to follow those intuitive hits. Devote yourself here to that vision. You have El Mora, awakening presence, showing up here. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. So he is a highly protective energy. Some of you could be resonating with the image of this individual. I also feel like someone could have very bright blue or even green eyes, very captivating here. Someone could have full on facial hair, maybe a full beard or a mustache, but I am getting here you staying present, but this feels like you're very aware of your emotions, you're aware of your thoughts, you are aware of the energy of others. So it just feels like a hypersensitivity in a way where you are feeling and noticing everything around you. Now, what does your higher self want you to know? What is that voice telling you at this time? 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Ariel. You have invested wisely. Have patience and wait for the harvest. Review your progress and make plans for your next endeavor. 7 of Pentacles is the timing card of taking a look here and, saying, all right, I've done all that I can here. And is it time to pivot? Is it time to redirect my energy? Because I've done all that I can, and I'm not going to sit here waiting for change here. I am going to, have patience. I'm going to wait for the harvest here to show up, but it feels like there could be a little bit of a pivot. I mean, that's what this reading is about, is the shift. So I see that some of you have put a lot of time, you've put a lot of energy into this relationship or into this career or into your family, but it feels like a new role. That's what I'm getting here, is a new role you are stepping into. Or perhaps there is a different version of yourself that has grown, that has matured. And I see that you are going to reap the harvest here, but you are also getting ready for this next endeavor, this next piece of the puzzle. So let's look at the block or even the blind spot. Sometimes this can be the ego or it can be external noise. You have the Knight of Ariel, so more pentacle energy showing up here for you. And this is about accomplishments, right? There is so very much to accomplish. And some of you are stuck in the details or stuck in the plans, or perhaps you are in the midst of reflecting here on your focus. Right? Maybe you feel like you've lost direction. That's why Krishna is here saying it's time to devote yourself to your inner vision. That's why you have all of your spiritual helpers, Krishna, devotion, Odin, psychic insight, because that psychic insight is awakening something within you. Some of you, the block was a sacred pause. Maybe some of you, the block was feeling like you weren't quite on the right path, or maybe it just felt like you were lost within discipline. Some of you didn't feel like you had the energy to show up for life or show up to a relationship. Sometimes it can be because of adrenal fatigue. Sometimes it can be because our nervous system is worn out. Think of the battery on your phone at 2%. It feels like that was your energy maybe for a while because you've invested and you've put so much into something. But what shift is coming in is you're recharging your battery. You are recharging so you can be at 100%. And so I see that you are devoting yourself potentially at this time to your own presence here, right? That's why you're being asked by Elmora to wear a cloak of protection, to wear a cloak of love, self-love, and nurture yourself. This is going to help you get back on track because the Knight of Pentacles, he is dependable. He is hardworking. He is trustworthy. But sometimes when we lack the focus or we lack the discipline, or it just feels like we keep coming up to a dead end, or we don't have the motivation or momentum to keep going, sometimes that's when a course correction shifts or occurs. And some of you, this has to do with health. It has to do with financial stability here because I'm seeing a lot of pentacles. But let's take a look at the mirror. How is this being reflected in your life? The Death card. Oh, and I wanted to mention here, it says, being watched over by someone kind. And now I understand why they waited to pause on that, because some of you have a loved one in spirit who is watching over you at this time, helping you rejoin life, helping you get back to a space where you are feeling like your batteries are charged, right? So the peace energy coming in, it says you're releasing the past. There is a more enriching future coming. Let go and let God. So there are endings occurring in your life. Some of you are cutting out perhaps certain foods, substances. This can be energies that cause you to feel drained, right? Whatever drains your battery, whatever drains your energy, that is what you are cutting out. And you could be partaking in somatic healing, ways to rebalance or restart that battery in some way, because sometimes when it gets so low, it takes a little while to recharge. And I see that some of you are in need of maybe rest or more peace here as you fully embody that 10 of Pentacles, because the 10 of Pentacles is here for you. But some of you, maybe there was a whole mountain of debt or family drama or something that really had shook your foundation to the core. I definitely see that you're releasing a lot. There is a more enriching future coming. Those visions that you keep seeing, that life that you keep imagining, that's not just wishful thinking. I feel like you are tapping into a timeline of more peace, a timeline where there are opportunities, where you're not feeling stuck. You're not feeling like you are off track here. Now, what is the shift? What needs to be released or even embraced? 4 of Pentacles. When you give, you also receive. Sometimes this can be being resistant to change, maybe changing a pattern or behavior, right? For example, knowing that sugar is not good for you or healthy for you. Processed foods that have a lot of sugar, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to, get better energy, but yet you keep reaching for the sugary foods. So there's a little bit of a cognitive dissonance here where you want what you want, but it feels like you're still kind of reaching into this old pattern that you have. And sometimes that can be resistance. And I see that there could be some spiritual teachers here, helpers that can guide you at this time. If you feel like you are in that state of cognitive dissonance or feeling disconnected, some of you, maybe this has to do with eating. It may have to do with food, energies around food. For some of you, it has to do with spending or saving money. Some of you could be shopaholics, or perhaps you have sat on your abundance in some way where you haven't been open to new opportunities. And I see that is what's shifting here for you. When the 4 of Pentacles comes up, sometimes this can be either overspending, it can be hoarding, right? Hoarding, it can be going into debt. Or coming out of it. Remember, that's what's shifting here. 4 of Pentacles is also about scarcity mindset. So if this is in, your relationships, yes, there may be something that is coming to an end. And I feel like that new mindset is showing up here. Focus on what you want, not focusing on the loss. This can be hanging on too tightly to some of those old patterns here, or to something that you've outgrown, like your favorite pair of shoes, right? But they're so tight on your feet, or that favorite pair of pants that you hang on to and you're like, maybe someday. I feel like you are being asked to do a clean sweep, right? Do a clean sweep, declutter, detox, get rid of the junk, get rid of the clutter, mental clutter, physical clutter. Some of you, yeah, I'm hearing hoarder again. So perhaps someone has hoarded a lot. Maybe this is a family member. Okay. Maybe this is you. You may carry stuff that may not be yours. Maybe this is emotional hoarding. Okay. Where I feel like you are being asked to release that. That's why the death card is here. Release maybe some emotional hoarding, or even physical, and make way, because you have some beautiful new things that are showing up. So what is the gift? What's waiting on the other side of this? If we let go, if we release, if we surrender to the new beginning versus hanging on to the past, what's available here for you? You have the Judgment. The Judgment energy is about starting a new life, new beginnings here, finding your purpose. There's a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. Some of you are working on forgiving yourself, right? Forgiving yourself when you reach for that sugary processed food. Forgiving yourself for staying in situations that you've outgrown. Maybe forgiving others for hurting you, ending things in the way that they have ended them. Maybe this is about you fully embodying that you have a second chance here. This is a passage. It is a right of way. You have this profound sense of self-awareness, and I have a feeling the body is starting to catch up, where spiritually you've been doing the work, and maybe the body has been taking a little more time to heal, and that's caused some delays. It's caused some frustrations. And I see here with the Judgment, you have undergone a rebirth. This is about letting things go, letting and releasing fears, releasing self-judgment. Yeah, that's a big one. Self-judgment, or criticism, or even judging or criticizing others in some way. I feel, or maybe you have felt criticized or judged by others because of your lifestyle, because of maybe some patterns that you have felt stuck in. Some of you, this is tied to shame. Okay, shame. This is stuff you're releasing, Gemini. This is big, big stuff you are releasing. Like I said, you have 3 out of the 6 major arcanas here, and your outcome, the integration, the outcome, the grounded action or mindset that you are meant to carry forward is the Tower. Allow things to crumble. Change your life. A sudden revelation that offers you freedom. Break free of procrastination. I think I mentioned that. The Knight of Pentacles, it can be that stuck energy because we don't feel like our battery is fully charged and we procrastinate. We're tired. We don't want to clean the house. Not when we don't have any energy, right? We barely have energy to get out of bed, or barely have energy to show up to take care of the kids, or whatever it may be for you. It feels like, you are returning to that sense of devotion for your body. There's something here about body talk coming up for you if you've struggled in that category of connecting maybe the body and the mind. This is a sudden revelation. You are breaking free of procrastination. You're breaking free of that stuck energy that you may have felt like you were in. This is embracing the opportunities that change is bringing. When the Tower shows up, this is destroying old structures, maybe even structures that were built very early on in your life, maybe due to societal norms, family traditions, things that you have witnessed or seen, maybe growing up or in prior relationships or marriages. I see that you have reconstructed your belief system. And that's huge because it feels like this Tower showing up is shaking up your world. I'm getting soul quake. Okay, soul quake. So your soul is going through a huge shift. And yeah, the body is trying to catch up here, but I feel like you are going to feel more charged, more energized. It feels like there are shakeups happening here in your life to put you on the path, the timeline that you are meant to be on. And Seven of Pentacles sometimes can be a little bit impatient when he has done all of the work, right? All of the spiritual work, all of the physical work. You have built up maybe a business, as I mentioned, or family life, and you're like, well, when am I going to get to that 10 of Pentacles, Mel? I feel like I've stalled. I feel like my battery isn't even at 2%. It's at 0, and it's been charging for weeks, for months, for years, and I still don't have a charge. What's happening? So what's happening here is, it takes time to reconstruct. It takes time to shed those old layers. And that's what I'm getting here, Gemini, is you've been peeling back the layers one by one. That's where these spiritual helpers come in. You are awakening to your presence. Protect yourself. Call in your spiritual helpers. Some of you are meant to protect your energy from maybe people who, again, externally drain you. If you notice that you are coming back home after you go out to the grocery store and you're just exhausted, or you go to a friend's house and you come home and you're just exhausted, pay attention to where you go that drains you and where you go that uplifts you. Because I feel like you are leaning into maintaining some of these changes that are showing up here for you to activate this 10 of Pentacles, right? This is about you being grateful for everything that is showing up, but also grateful for the lessons, grateful for the experiences that you've had, but you don't have to sit in those lessons. You don't have to sit in that 2% battery when I see here that you have the 100% available. Literally the 10 energy, right, is that completion, that, I've completed this. So there's healing here, making way. You have the star underneath. So trust that the stars are aligning to bring a wish closer towards you at this time. The star is a brighter future ahead. This is the end of a difficult situation, and it is showing up here for you. Now I'm getting here, even between now and Scorpio season, we have here with the judgment, double Scorpio, death and judgment. So between now and even October, as we move into Scorpio season, these changes are going to continue to take place, because I feel like it's more than one. Changes within the body, changes within your stability, your finances. It feels like this is a month. It feels like a few month period, maybe 3 months of these ongoing changes. But by the end of the year, you are going to be in a very good position, is what I'm seeing here for you. So Gemini, thank you so much for tuning in today. Stay devoted, trust your psychic insight, and allow yourself to be present with what's happening. Thank you again for tuning in. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button, share, like, subscribe. Thank you again, Gemini. Lots of love.